How many of you here today remember the first time you were scared of the dark? Or the first time you were actually convinced that there was a monster under your bed? That was the first knock of fear on your childhood doors. From the time we were little, fear has always been part of our lives. At the age of 5, it's the dark. At 10, it's maths homework. Actually, that one is for all ages, I guess. And at 11, it's the fear of speaking on stage. Or even worse, the fear of embarrassing yourself in front of your friends. Have you noticed? Our fears grew up right alongside us. When I was small, I wasn't afraid of anything. I would jump off sofas pretending to be a superhero. My parents were terrified, but not me. I would sing loudly, even if it sounded horrible. And I would ask 100 silly questions without worrying if people laughed. I once loved performing on stage. Music, singing, playing the keyboard, it just made me feel alive. But then, fear crept in. Fear of forgetting my lines, fear of people laughing, fear of not being good enough. And then slowly the joy disappeared. Psychologists even have a name for this: anticipatory anxiety. It's when your brain overpredicts and overanalyzes. And by the time we grow up, studies say almost 90% of our hobbies quietly fade away. That's the danger of fear. It doesn't just make us nervous, it silently steals the things that we love most. Okay, so now let me explain how our brain works. When we feel fear or get nervous, a tiny alarm in our brain called the amygdala starts ringing. So now imagine you're on a flight and the plane suddenly hits turbulence. Your amygdala goes wild. This is it, we're going down. Your heart is racing and your hands grip the seat as you check outside the window to see if the wings are still there. But then another part of the brain steps in, the prefrontal cortex. That's the calm planner. It then says, relax, the pilot knows what he's doing. Planes are built for this. And so you take a deep breath and realize you're safe. This feeling, the one that makes our heart race and our hands all sweaty, it is perhaps the most powerful emotion that we experience. But fear, it doesn't always go away so easily. Remember the Air India crash? We are all so terrified to fly that airport stayed empty for weeks. I remember traveling on an Air India plane after that. The moment I saw the old, rusty plane, my heart was beating faster than ever. After we took off, I kept on checking after literally every 2 seconds if we were going up or going down. But even after the danger is gone, the alarm in our mind still keeps on ringing, which means that fear is not just about big disasters. It quietly follows us into our daily lives too. And that's actually how our brain learns to be brave. Every time we face a small fear and survive it, our prefrontal cortex grows stronger. And the people who fail more, try more, and make more mistakes, they often grow into better planners, creative thinkers, and faster learners. I sometimes wonder how a baby is not scared to jump into the pool. Meanwhile, I stand on the edge arguing for 10 minutes with myself. Should I or shouldn't I? And just then, the baby dies in right before me. That's when I realized that babies don't carry fear yet. Now, there are some things we should be afraid of, like tigers, poisonous snakes, or standing too close to the edge of a cliff. In these situations, fear means survival. But other times, fear shows up not because we're in danger, but because we're facing something new, something unknown, like stepping onto an escalator for the first time or giving an interview for your first job. It simply means we're standing right where fear ends and growth begins. And let's be honest, before exams, haven't we all prayed, "Oh God, please make the questions easy. I promise I'll study properly from tomorrow"? Suddenly, we all become really religious, don't we? Fear makes us fold our hands faster than we fold our books. And here's the surprising twist: being nervous actually makes us perform better. The adrenaline, the nerves, they sharpen our focus. And over the time, I noticed that most of our actions come from fear. The thought of failing an exam makes us open our books. The worry of losing a match makes us train harder. The chance of forgetting lines makes us practice longer. So, fear can act as the next step in our growth and development. Fear isn't always the enemy, it's like a gang of dogs chasing a moving car. They bark, they look scary, but they don't really mean any harm. Fear can make noise, lots of noise, but that doesn't mean it has to control the direction of our lives. The little girl who jumped off so fast pretending to be a superhero is still inside me, and maybe inside all of us. We just have to remind ourselves we don't have to stop being brave just because we've grown up. Anybody here experience skydiving? It's exactly like that. When you're at the edge of the plane, ready to jump, fear is at its loudest. Your heart is racing. Every part of you wants to step back. But the moment you jump, fear turns into freedom. So every time you face a fear, remember you step closer to courage. Fear is the reason courage exists, and the only way past them is through them. And that's why I'm here today, standing in front of all of you. This is me, fighting my fear. And this stage, this moment, is my light. And I'm sure many of my friends who came here on stage today know exactly what I'm talking about. The butterflies in your stomach, the shaky knees, the tiny voice that says, "But what if I mess up?" So take a deep breath, step forward anyway, because beyond every fear lies the victory we are searching for. Or as my mom reminds me, डर के आगे जीत है. Thank you.